Welcome to Property Banter. My name's Michael Lezaja, and today we have Belinda Botzolis, or Belinda the Valuer, as you may know her. She is a certified valuer and a registered tax agent, and I don't know, all-around good person. Welcome. Welcome,
Yes.
Belinda.
Thank you. I try to be.
You're not certified.
No, I'm not certified good person. I'm just regular.
Welcome, though. Good to
Every
have
day.
you.
Thank you. A good person back.
Thank you. Not certified, by the way. So Belinda is here today to discuss new versus existing, which is better from an investor's perspective and also from a valuer's perspective. You know, I'm obviously a buyer's agent and a property investor, but you being the valuer, we had some words earlier in regards to you not being a particularly big fan
Of
new builds.
the new builds. Yes.
Let's get into it. New versus old. I'm on the existing side. I love existing real estate. I don't like buying brand new. I've bought one, and it was the worst thing I've ever done, and I'm not going back. So it is what it is, and we preach and we talk about buying existing and adding value.
Yep.
Add valuing, right? Yeah. We want to, add that equity ourselves, you know, minimal spend, extract equity, go again, as opposed to the builder who's making his own equity on that new build, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that. I'm sure you've valued plenty of them.
Yes. I think we might just start by saying that if you are buying a brand new home to live in, that's a little bit different to buying a brand new home as an investment, because some people, I get it. You know, they might have a first homeowner's grant, no stamp duty. There might be certain things that they want out of a new build, and some people just want a new home.
Yep.
That's fine. So we're not here to judge you on your lifestyle choices on wanting to have a new home, but I think it's important that we establish that it doesn't always translate to a good investment. Could be a good owner-occupier home and for an owner, but it doesn't always make for a good investment property. And the reason I don't like them is, as a valuer, I very rarely value them at the contract price.
So what people pay for them.
Yes.
Yeah. So the price that people pay for them, you're valuing it less than. So you believe in your eyes it's worth less than what the majority of people pay for brand new house land packages.
Yes, because I believe that they paid a premium for that property. I believe that they've maybe paid for the marketing. They've paid for, I'm going to get depreciation. So they're paying for tax benefit. They're paying for, I'm the first owner. There's an incentive. It's like a car, I'm the first one. This is mine. No one else has driven this but me. It's the same as the home. I'm the first one to own it. No one else has lived in it. I like it brand new. I don't have to spend anything on it. I get the appeal for a lot of people. But I don't necessarily think that it's a good investment because of that. So things that you think are great is the things that actually ironically make it not great. So when we value it, and just to give you a little bit of a high level understanding that you might not know, is when we value it for the bank want us to kind of assume that it's no longer brand new. So there's no benefit anymore.
Once you rent it out, it's not going to be.
Yeah, because the bank are like, well, I'm about to lend you money for the new property, but in the event that I repossess it back off you, it's going to be secondhand. So I no longer, as a bank, as the institution, are repossessing a brand new property, and I want to know what kind of risks am I taking on and what's it going to be worth if it's no longer brand new. It's a bit ironic, like do you put the chicken before the egg, because you are buying it brand new, so sometimes it's worth a premium as a brand new product, but the minute you get those keys, it is considered secondhand and it drops a little bit. Now, we're in a bit of a unique situation because the market is really, really strong at the moment. So if you have bought off the plan, house and land or whatever, maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, the market has moved. So there are instances where you make money. I'm not saying that you don't never, but if you had bought an existing home at the exact same time, you might have actually made more money as if you had sold it like for like. So just because, yes, you did make money on a new build doesn't mean that you wouldn't have made money. The market did all the work. The property didn't do the work. because when you buy that property, there's nothing you can do to that home to add any more value. It's already at the high, it's up the top, at the highest and best use. You can't renovate it. You can't rip out and put a new kitchen in. You can't add an extra bedroom. You can't do anything because it's already at the absolute peak, the top. It will never be in better condition. It will never be a new product again. So if anything, improvement's only going to go downhill from here.
And that's like the car that has 0 kilometres.
Yes.
Every kilometre after that,
Yep.
the car depreciates. It gets older with every kilometre. And it's the same for property.
Yes.
You know, and I think maybe a lot of Australians are getting caught up in chasing depreciation as a strategy, and you'd know depreciation better than anyone.
Yep.
They get caught chasing depreciation as a strategy because maybe some slick salesman has sold them that.
Yeah.
And also, you know what? I think there are some perhaps superficial Australians out there that love showing the photo of their nice new investment property at a family barbecue or whatever. And maybe some of, with some of the ethnics, maybe they like to stick it to the other ones. You know how that works sometimes.
Yeah.
For the ethnics listening, you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
And it's wrong because I love buying all the stuff that's ugly. I look for money.
Yes.
That's all we look at, and it's very calculated, strategic. There's no emotion. And I think a lot of people are getting caught up in emotion when they're making these decisions.
It is. And I think going back to your point about the depreciation, so a lot of misconception that only brand new properties qualify for depreciation. And if your property's a couple of years old or it's no longer brand new, it's like, well, I'm not going to claim anything. And that's wrong. It just means that a brand new property has the most amount of depreciation because it's brand new. So you can claim absolutely everything on it. And you do get a decent depreciation back, but I'll just give you an example, Michael. Let's say that you get to claim $10,000 in depreciation. Okay, so that will come off your taxable income. So you got paid $100,000 and you take $10,000 off. So you should have only been taxed on $90,000. Instead, you were taxed on $100,000. Okay, you have a $10,000 loss in depreciation. It's a deduction, and then the ATO give you your tax back, and they say, "Sorry, Michael, you paid tax already on $100,000. You should have only paid tax on $90,000." And then they refund you the tax that you've already paid. You know how you usually get about 35 cents in the dollar back, which translates into $3,500 back in depreciation. So you're chasing $10,000 of depreciation only to get $3,500 back in your physical pocket. Okay, double that, $20,000 in depreciation equals $7,000 in depreciation. If you've got, $40,000, that's $15,000. Okay, now if you are only chasing $15,000 or $5,000 in depreciation, instead of getting a better property, you could have missed out on $100,000 of capital growth because you're chasing $5,000 of depreciation because it's a new asset. So I want you to really, if anybody's watching this and they're like, I want the depreciation and I can save on my tax. My accountant said, you're paying too much tax. Go and get a brand new property and you can claim all these expenses. Make sure that you're not doing it purely as a tax strategy, that you're really understanding everything that comes with buying a brand new property and the value side of things.
I think you need to work out as an investor, are you looking right now to chase $3,500 back in your tax, or are you looking at creating wealth for yourself and your family? Are you looking at buying a property that's going to go up $100,000, $2,000, $3,000? Are you looking to make money, or are you looking to just save that little bit of tax and you're happy with that $3,500 and then your year's done? If you're happy with that and you're just chasing that, by all means, don't go chasing a good data set area, buying under market value, renovating the property, adding value, extracting equity, buying again, creating a portfolio that's growing in value all the time. If that's not your goal and your goal is just $3,500, then so be it. But understand they're two different strategies. And one's more of a, it's kind of like a bonus. And that's how you should be treating depreciation. It shouldn't be going out there because someone sold you 3 tax-saving hacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you got to remember old stuff. You still got depreciation in old stuff too.
So tell us about that. It's anything after 1987, is that right?
Yeah, so if it's originally built after 87, so I just say rule of thumb, if you're not sure, ask the agent, ring up council and say, when was this built? If they say anything in the 90s, you're in. You got depreciation. If they say anything in the 80s and earlier, look for any type of renovation. If a home is an original 80s property, chances are it's had maybe a new kitchen, an updated bathroom, it's been repainted, there's a new side gate, there's a new letterbox, closer, all these little things. They're the stuff that I look for, and I make sure that, $5,000 here, $2,000 there, $1,000 here. Before you know it, $60,000, $70,000 of improvements on the home during that time is not unheard of. It's actually quite common, especially if you've done stuff yourself, you can claim all that. So there is a lot of stuff that you can claim. So let's say for argument's sake, you can only claim $3,000 of improvements. You get $1,000 off your tax. Okay.
So let's say $2,500 difference over the 10 grand worth of claim on a new property, right? Now, a couple of grand shouldn't dictate
No.
your property investment strategy and your desired outcome.
And that older home, this is as an investor and as a valuer, you've got to understand that if you buy an absolute brand new property, you are at the mercy of the market. If the market is doing well, you will go up in value. Okay, and at the moment, the market's doing well. Every major capital city is going up. So, you know what? By default, your property should go up. Okay, and you're going to sit there and be like, I'm such a smart investor. My property's going up in value. You have not done anything other than buying a new asset, and the suburb or that's where the skill comes in, is knowing where to buy. But it's done all the hard work. Now, markets go up, markets go down. Let's say we're in a situation where it's a stagnant market. Market's doing nothing, not going up or down. How is it that you go, damn it, I wish I had a little bit more equity in this property. What can I do to maybe manipulate the market, force the value to increase by doing a bit of a reno or uptick in value, okay? And as a valuer, my superpower is that I know what actually increases value from a valuer's perspective to tell the bank. Because you got a homeowner, you got the bank, and the only person, pretend this microphone's me, the only person stopping you from getting money out of the bank is the valuer's opinion to the bank, okay? So there's a lot of things you can do to overcapitalize, undercapitalize. If it's brand new, the valuer's like, there's nothing you can do to this property. You're at the mercy of the market right now. However, it's an older home, the valuer, knows that, hey, you know what? You can easily turn this into another bedroom, uplift in value. The market's still not moving, but you've manipulated now the market. You can repaint it. You can put a new kitchen in there. You can, fix up the facade. You can make it much more marketable and appealing. And then the property does all the heavy lifting. Regardless of the market, you've now increased the value. You can't do that for new. You can only do that for old and established.
Yep.
Because the improvements are not at their highest and best use. They've depreciated, which means that there is a gap between the value of the improvements and the potential for those improvements to increase. So this is where, when you hear a lot of people going, it's a strategy, just make sure that you understand that right now and for the last 5 years, we only know a market that's buoyant and moving up. If we enter into because it's long-term investing, if you get to the point where the market does not move, what are you going to do? How are you going to increase the value? And that's where the strategy needs to come in. I'm going to buy that home. I might not renovate it now, so I can ace up your sleeve, yeah? And then you go, now I'm going to renovate it because I know I can easily get 100 grand out of that by spending 20. I make 80 grand. Yep. There's my equity, and go again.
Yep.
So
you're speaking to me. This is my language. So look,
property, establish, add value, increase, start again, do it again.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Because I'm always looking at problems. I'm here to solve those problems. Yep. So if it does need, that coat of paint, that flooring, because it has depreciated over time, I want to be buying that property at a discount. But yet, for my time and effort, I want to invest only a minimal amount of money. Like you said, let's say it's 20 grand. It's flooring. It's flat pack kitchen. Obviously, we won't go tiled flooring. We'll go wooden floors, right? We won't make that mistake with you. And then we'll give it a paint flat pack kitchen, $20K. I've got that uplift.
Yeah.
But I get that reward for the fact that I've spent time project managing and adding those, renovations. And there's my uptick.
Yes.
And that's my equity of 80K that I'll extract to go buy the next one. That's why I love that. Whereas going back to what you're saying about brand new, that's a brand new kitchen. That's a brand new floor.
Yeah, you can't touch
that's a brand new paint. I can't do anything to that.
Yeah. You know what the real sweet spot for me right now is finding homes that were built in the early 2000s, in the early 90s, right? So if you find a home that's like a 93 to a 90, in the 90s, it's ripe for renovation now because you're hitting like 20 to 30 years and a 30-year-old kitchen, because sometimes you get a kitchen that was built in the 2000s and it's not like bad, but it's still good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And ripping it out to replace it can sometimes mean that you're spending the money only to make the money. You're spending 20 grand on a kitchen and you're really adding 20.
Yeah.
It's those really old properties where it's like too old to be functional because the doors are starting to, chip and all that. They're the ones that you get the most value. So anything that was built in kind of the 80s, everyone knows, but it's the 90s where it's now just that
Starting to become. Yeah.
little bit, it's ripe. So just keep that in mind. If you are buying something that's brand new, you might need to wait 30 years before it's right for renovation. You can add value to it. So, yeah, something to think about.
Yep. So the 90s properties now are perfect for renovation.
Perfect.
And I think my first house was a 97.
Yeah.
And we gave it a freshen up probably a little bit before its time, but we had green carpet. So that green
In
carpet.
the 90s?
In the 90s, it was a green carpet house.
Okay.
And the green carpet had to go. And I did do the tile thing, though, the big wog tiles, the 600
Yes.
white. Very nice, reflected off the
Oh,
daylight white lights. I packed so many
for
downlights,
breakdancing.
so many downlights in this house. This is you flick the lights on, it blinds you. It's like these lights here.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, but it was clean, fresh white.
Yep.
You would have loved it if you're a valuer.
Yes, okay.
But look, it's one of those things where, it's time and you can, it's spent enough time as a rental, as an owner occupier, and if it hasn't been, renovated, but it's been looked after, it's got good bones.
Yeah.
Structurally, it's good. Concrete
Yes.
slab on ground, brick veneer. It's time. It's a perfect renovator.
The floor plans are better in the 90s home than the 80s.
Yes.
Okay,
The
I
two
find-
bathroom.
And the two bathrooms started to really be popular. Like the more we get closer to the 2000s, the more it was kind of seen as a luxury, but it was a luxury that people didn't mind paying for. A little bit how now, you can't build a home without air conditioning. Where air conditioning, remember, used to be seen as a luxury. Dishwashers used to be seen as a luxury. Now they're an absolute standard. So as we go more and more, into the future, more and more things will become standard that we're like everything's going to have a solar panel. Everything might even have a battery. Everything's going to have double glazing, because of this whole green factor when it comes to property. But things that you think are a luxury now will very quickly become the norm. And then if you go back in time long enough to when they don't have it and then you add it to meet the standards of today, it's a really good opportunity to add some value. 3 bedrooms used to be the norm. You don't build 3 bedrooms anymore unless you're restricted by lot size.
Yeah.
How many huge blocks would you find that have, 600, 700 square metre block with a 3-bedroom house on it? It's just not the case anymore.
Nope.
You would maximise your floor to land.
3 bedrooms on 250 now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barely, huh?
It's changed.
Yes. So, times have changed and it's about going – I think we were talking earlier about buying under value. Mm-hmm. As a valuer, I can tell you now, very, very rarely have I valued a home where I'm like, I could actually put more on that. The only time you buy under value is if the improvements are not where they could be. And the market doesn't pay for the potential of that. They just pay for what's there right now.
What it is.
And they tend to put those type of homes in I don't know what to do with this, so I'm not going to buy it basket. Because sometimes they're like not old and crappy enough to renovate. And if I do renovate, it's like too much money and I can't be bothered and I don't know, so I won't buy it. But you go in because either you've been guided by the right buyer's agent or the buyer valuer.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And then you're like, this is, because I listen to the podcast all the time.
Yeah.
I know that this is market value because no one else is coming in at this price. But I know very easily, I can increase the value by not doing much. So a lot of the time when I hear people say, oh, I bought this and I got it revalued in X amount of weeks and it came back at this, I'm like, you had to have done something to it. You had to have bought it and then done something or to increase that value, because it's got to do with the improvements. Buying brand new simply doesn't give you that option.
It doesn't.
You can't add anything to it when you buy it. What you buy is already at the top end.
Yep.
That's it. It's not like when you go to the markets at Bali and they give you the top end price and you bargain. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you bargain them down?
Yeah.
No. It's like that's the price.
Yeah.
Walk in. It's like going to, I don't know, Country Road. That's their price. You can't bargain them down.
Yeah.
I don't know why I use that as an example, but you get what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as Macca's. It's all the same.
Could have used that as an example, yeah.
I don't know.
The price is the price is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And nothing you can do to that.
I think with regards to the new versus old, I think people need to start looking at it like they do cars. Because I think I always use the 3-year-old Toyota Corolla as a great analogy. The 3-year-old Toyota Corolla, you buy it with 40,000 Ks. It's been looked after. That's the same car. That is pretty much the new one. It's just got 40,000 Ks on it. If it's been looked after, it's pretty much the same. When you go to a rental car company and you hire a car for a day, and it could be 3 years old, and it could have 40,000 Ks on it, you wouldn't know the difference, because whether they just got it off the lot and it's got 0 Ks on it, or it's got 40,000 Ks, you still pay $150 a day or whatever you do for it. It's still worth the same.
Yeah.
You know, and when you look at it from a depreciation perspective, if you're going to buy the car, you're going to go buy something brand new off the lot. So you go to the car dealer, whichever manufacturer it is, you buy it, and instantly, the second you drive it off the showroom floor, it goes down. That's the same way a bank valuer looks at
we assess it. Yeah, exactly. So we will look at it as if you buy it brand new, and the minute it goes in your name, it's like a car's gone out the dealership, and all that glitters is no longer sparkling, so to speak.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not just about buying an old home as well that I think people need to understand, and you'll know this. Not every old home gets an uplift in valuation, in value because of a renovation. There are some homes that I've seen people, I guess, to give you some context, I used to do 5 to 7 valuations every day. So can you imagine every day I go into 5 to 7 homes and I'm looking around, next day 5 to 7 homes. I do this all day, every day, year on year on year on year. And not only am I looking at one property, but I'm also analysing 10 properties per house, 10 sales evidence per property. So on any given day, could be looking at 100 properties all day, every day. You see good, you see bad, and you see a lot of stuff. And I'd go in and I'd be like, oh, have you recently renovated? Yes. How much did you spend on it roughly? Just need to have an idea.
Always say a lot.
And they'll tell me, and in my head I'm like, wow, you've done such a good job for like 30 grand. And then even though you're valuing it professionally, you're personal because you're an investor, you're like, what did you do exactly? They talk me through it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we did this, we did that. And you're writing notes now for yourself instead of...
So, you told me about this. This was the bathroom.
Yeah, there were so many things.
Bathroom,
I was like, where'd you
resin.
get the tiles?
Yep.
How did you fix this out? So what product did you use? What? Yeah. Yeah. Research for the report.
Yes.
Research.
Yes.
Ring up the husband in the car. Babe, let's do this. My point is you see a lot, and then you, on the flip side, sorry, how much did you spend on it? You spent $300,000 on this? You're like, in your head, I don't even think you've added 100 grand because you've overcapitalized.
That's a sad one, because they truly believe that they were doing the best thing and the right thing, and they might have done quality work. I mean, honestly, really, really good work. But at the end of the day, it doesn't stack up, and it doesn't. Sometimes the money spent doesn't actually produce the result in the end. Some people learn that the hard way. Yeah,
some people get caught up on like really expensive stone. And
they watched a TV show.
Yes. I watched the Block reveals the other day, and they did bedrooms, and one of the walls, so bear with me if you haven't seen it, the wall bumped out because they put it's like a circle in it, which means that they lost about 20 to 30 mils in that room because they had a bench. So in order for you to pop out the wall, only for you to cut a circle that goes in and put a bench, you've lost 30 centimetres out of that room. So all of a sudden, your huge bedroom is now 30 centimetres, say half a metre, 30 to half a metre, smaller. I'm like, you've made the room smaller for a feature you can't even use. And you got the rest of the wall now that has no functionality at all except a circle in the wall because it's a feature. And it served no purpose other than aesthetics. If I am someone that wants a room, I'd rather have more bedroom space, like floor space in my bedroom, because bedrooms are the one room that you want to feel big. You know, everyone walks into it, I'm like, oh, the bedrooms are big. Oh, the bedrooms are small. No one says, oh, I could do with a smaller room. So I think don't just go and do something because you think it's going to look cool or funky or, you know, whatnot. We've got panels on the wall here, right? They protrude a couple of mil.
Yep.
But it's a nice feature. Now imagine you did a wall that came out like this only to go in.
We'd lose a lot more.
Yeah, already tight space. And sometimes I see it in bathrooms where they'll have a toilet that's recessed in.
Yes.
Yeah. In order to get that, you need to have a little ledge. If your bathroom's a good size, it's fine. But I've seen teeny tiny bathrooms and they've got a ledge and the built-in toilet and I'm like, oh, it's already tiny. Now I can't move. Pick your battles or understand that that is an expense unnecessary because not only have you now lost 15 mil from the bathroom and paid, you had to get the builder to set the frame, the plasterer to come in, the plumber, blah, blah, blah. You paid 10 grand too much for something that's had zero value to your home.
Yep.
So just make sure you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yep. Tell us in your experience, and I know that a lot of people have probably heard this before, but give us your top three. Like when assessing a property, the top three bang for buck things that someone out there could do. There might be a novice now learning, watching this podcast. What are your three things that you see so much value in as a valuer that they could spend a little bit of money but get a lot from a valuation uptick perspective?
So I'll tell you what to do and what not to do. The biggest one for me, so I always end with this, but I'm going to bring it forward because it is probably the most important, is the front and backyard. So a lot of people just cut the grass and that's it, okay? So many new homes, especially new homes. So this is one where you might be able to add value to a new home. Okay, or an existing home, they'll have literally a grass yard and a colour-bond fence. Feels a bit institutionalised like that, okay? Now, I understand if you're putting a tenant in there and you're like, this, I don't want maintenance for the tenant. But for a value add perspective, add some greenery, add something other than just grass and a colour-bond or timber fence because your backyard is somewhere that you can create an additional living space to your home, okay? It's a place you can entertain outside. It's a place that your kids can play if you don't have kids. It's a place that you can hang out with your mates or I don't like fire pits. We'll get into that another time. The great thing is that if you have your home and it is up against, let's say, 5 other properties on the market and all the other properties have grass and a colour-bond fence, maybe a shed in the back corner. Imagine your yard. It didn't cost you that much. A couple of trees, a little bit of an entertainment area, not a fire pit, but you have a pizza oven and somewhere you can hang out. All of a sudden, that becomes an extension to your home. It is a place that when the weather's nice, you can go out to and it becomes more valuable. Yes, it'll cost money, but now if your property is up against all these other ones on the market, people are like, ooh, this one's got an extra kind of like an extra living area or entertainment area. I can go outside. I love pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? The pizza oven might have cost you $2,000 in materials to make or whatnot, but it might have added $10,000 or $15,000 to your home because all of a sudden you've created reason for an emotional buyer to maybe pay more because of what that space is bringing them. Same as the front. Everybody loves a nice looking home. I say this sometimes as like a joke. It's like Tinder.
It's
a pretty girl. It's a good-looking guy, right?
Yeah.
You stop. No one. I know it's not about the look. It's about the personality. But let's get real.
Yeah.
No one
Street
stops
appeal,
at the ugly ones.
Exactly.
Sorry. I'm going to get cancelled.
No. Street appeal is important, though.
So important.
Street appeal is important because I was just thinking, going back to the pizza oven thing, because anytime as an investor I'm looking at a 311 unappealing Logan property on a 700 square meter block or 600 or 650 or whatever, I'm thinking 3-car shed. Queenslanders love a 3-car shed. It might have plumbing to it, whatever, right? They love that. So all of a sudden, now that becomes something an occupier tradie might buy or someone might buy. So it's that. And that goes to show like the fire pit. The fire pit's not that great of an addition here in Queensland. I don't think so. But a pizza oven, wow, that's become an occupier property all of a sudden, So I really love that one.
Yeah, so I think that's a really easy way to add value to a home, bang for buck, right? Is just spend a little bit of time on the inside and outside. So many properties I value inside is stunning and you wouldn't really know from the outside. Yeah, and if you're going all in on your home and you've left the outside, spend a bit more, like render it or add some cladding or pay, if you don't know what to do because you're like, I don't know, pay somebody like an interior designer or an architect, someone that knows a bit more about this and improve the facade. Because if it's like a red brick 70s built, it's uninspiring. But then all of a sudden you add some cladding, a bit of render, some outside lights, you change the colour of the windows, maybe the shape of the windows. All of a sudden, boom, bang, you've increased the appeal. It no longer looks like, a 70s home and you go inside and it's beautifully renovated. It's really uninspiring. Get the front to match the inside. Inspiring on both sides. Yeah. And it will help increase the value.
Definitely. And I think getting professionals' opinion is important. I've done way more renos than the majority of people, and I've also had clients involved in renovations, and that's what I do. But even I was stumped with that recent one that we had, which had the weird floor plan. Yeah. So I came to you and I said, listen, this is odd because they changed the floor plan. So it wasn't a typical floor plan that you'd alter. It was something that I don't see.
Yes.
Often or I've ever seen. So I looked at it going, well, what do I do? And after sitting with you for an hour, you gave me a lot of clarity in regards to how it should turn out. Turned out great, 150K equity uplift. So all worked out well. Yes. But I think it's super important. Sometimes even the best get stumped.
Yeah.
And that was that time when I really needed that your opinion on that.
Yep.
And super important.
You did well on that, by the way.
We
Congratulations.
Did very well. But it was odd.
Yes.
It was odd. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, I can't really redo a whole floor plan of a house. Like it was stupid whatever they did, but it was something that was so weird that I just couldn't work it out.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't even know where to start. It's like the most jigsaw puzzled mess.
And I think you had a few rooms and you're like, I can potentially turn all of them into a bedroom, but should I? And is that the best use of my time, my space? And there was the ensuite was weird, and then it was open.
Didn't have a window.
Yeah,
and then, we had to open it up. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, go.
I was about to say it's the same with valuers. I went to a conference recently, and somebody said something. We're talking, and we're like, valuers are the smartest, dumbest people you'll ever meet.
Oh,
and
explain.
Because there was a valuer saying it was allowed. Like if somebody else said that, I'd be like, what do you mean? Basically saying that valuers are some of the smartest people you'll ever meet in property, okay? But when it comes to their own investments or their own portfolio or growing their own wealth, I say this tongue in cheek, they're probably the dumbest because they know too much and they overanalyze it and they're too much on the risk side because their whole career has been analysing the risk to the bank and seeing a property from 1,500 different angles. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Rather than just going, good location, good property, good price, go. Yep. They overanalyze everything. So that's to their detriment. And that's when even if you're a valuer listening to this, I don't know if anybody listens to it, sometimes you got to use a professional to help you, like using a really good buyer's agent and not using them to do the work for you, but working with them. Just like we worked on your floor plan.
Yep.
You didn't hand it to me and go, hey, Belle, can you work on it and then give it back to me? We sat there, we worked on it, we went through, we bounced things off, and that's how then you learn. And then if I want to learn on something, there's stuff that you know that I don't know.
Yep, there always
about,
is.
And I'd be like, Mike, I don't want to hand it all over to you. I want to work with you. Let's go and do it together. And sometimes I think valuers struggle to let go because they're such experts in their field.
But this comes back to the team, right? We always talk, I talk about this all the time. and we were talking about it earlier. Everyone has a team. A CEO has a HR department, legal
Correct.
department.
They don't do it
You know,
all.
they've got sales. They got their whole team, and they're a CEO. You know, as a property investor, you need your team. I needed you at that time.
Yep.
I was stumped, and that was how it is. You know, everyone's got a perspective, and you need to work on that. But I think going back to valuers and why they're not achieving some success in that, I think that goes across the board. There's plenty of buyers agents that haven't achieved a lot of success. I think there's plenty of people that overthink it, and this is a mindset thing.
Yeah.
This is about getting out of your comfort zone and achieving. I remember speaking to 100 people about how I bought 14 properties in 12 months, and I remember speaking to the exact people in the crowd that I've seen at that seminar in Parramatta, by the way, who I felt are more knowledgeable than me.
Yes.
At the time, I felt a little bit weird because I've gone and done this,
Yes.
but I'm, for lack of a better phrase, incredibly ballsy or crazy. And I'm just like, yeah, boom, buy that, do that, renovate that, go next one. I don't care. I don't lose sleep at night. I just pull the trigger, bang.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Whereas them, I'm talking to them and I'm literally looking at them knowing that I feel that they've got more knowledge than me, but they're not taking the steps or for whatever it is.
Can I say something respectfully? I find that, I'm not calling you dumb.
Yeah. On my own podcast?
It's like the dumbest are the smartest, where valuers are the smartest, but they're the dumbest. Does that make sense? Because you don't overthink it, because you don't overanalyze it, and because sometimes buying something is better than buying nothing. Like you could have bought a real dud 10 years ago. You're still doing better than
Property
the guy.
covers you.
You're still doing better than the guy that bought nothing, even if your property was a dud. And in hindsight, you're like, never should have bought that. But hey, you did better than the guy that bought nothing.
Yeah. So it's the cost of opportunity.
Yes, especially in property. And if you buy in a half-decent area, like I said earlier, the market does all the work. Okay, so just get into the right area. And there's some areas that perform well when everything is well and then it doesn't. But as a rule of thumb, if you get in, it's better than not get. That's why they say best time is yesterday. Well, I'm
Next best time is today.
just get in is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if you sit there and over, like probably anybody that's watching this, I'm telling you, you're going, do I go to Brisbane? Oh, everyone's going to Melbourne now. Wait, is Perth still good? Is Perth still hot? I love Sydney, but Sydney's so expensive. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. Do I buy brand new? Do you understand? And then they do nothing. Where someone's like, oh yeah, I'll buy that. And then you are such a snob going, I would never buy that property. Well, you never buy nothing. And this is where we're saying, if you're not sure, get a team around you.
Yeah.
Get the guy that's bought 14 in 1 year. Get the girl that knows how to add the value by spending the least amount of money. Get the right accountant that knows, if you should buy in a trust or in your own name. Get the property lawyer that's like, put in a company first and then get your team.
Yeah.
And then
increase
you're
your
like-
percentages of success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it's about just doing it once or twice. And there are strategies where I say you can get lots of little ones. That's a strategy. Or just buying 2 or 3 really big ones. Maybe a commercial or a larger home where, the yield is really low. Everyone's got their strategy, but it's better than not having one at all.
Yep. Definitely got to be in the game. In summary, I really want to say from an investor's perspective, it is definitely a no as far as new builds go. If I was an occupier and it was my home that I wanted to live in and I wanted to build something for myself, or it's that, as you were saying earlier, the retirement home or whatever, it's your retirement home. That doesn't come out right. It's your last home, It's like where you're going to retire on the beach, you downsize. That's fine. But from an investor's perspective, I just feel it's such an inferior asset because we're paying top dollar for the sake of or for the builder and for the privilege of owning that brand new. Now, if you are buying something because it's your property that gets you on the ladder because you get a bunch of government schemes like first homeowners grant and whatever, and if that gets you into a brand new property, I still think buying and just getting in is still beneficial if it's your first property. But if you're an investor looking to scale a portfolio and go 2, 3, 4, 5 properties, it's a no. It's a hard no. It's not even a question. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very rare that it ends up being an incredible buy. You do hear them and you hear people that say, I bought it and, 3 years later I sold it for, $500,000 more. It's usually
the market.
Yeah, and it's usually because they got really, really lucky buying it before a boom and it had nothing to do with the property. It's just that they got in. And another thing I think I want to kind of leave whoever's listening to this about, put yourself, who cares where you're listening to this in Australia, right? Just put yourself in a brand new house and land package area. Close your eyes and pretend that you are standing on the road of a new house and land. Do I sound nice? Do I sound like one of those voices? Now you are going to open your eyes. Have a look around. Okay, you got a 360. What do they all look like? They all look the same. Imagine now that there are 7 properties for sale on that street. Whether you buy number 27 or you buy 17 or you buy 37 is going to come down to your own personal taste and style of maybe the particular colour scheme that they went with. Someone went with a bit Hamptonsy, someone went with a bit, grey and white, someone went with a bit more colour, right? It's going to come down to personal choice of an aesthetic, not so much on the value of the thing. It's more of an aesthetic. And you're not going to be paying a huge percentage more. It just might be marginally. If anything, it just means that you might be paying the exact same as all the others because they're identical, but it means that the slightly nicer ones sold first. Okay? And then the rest of them sold afterwards. If you close your eyes and you put yourself in an established street, so something that's been there for 100 years, and you open it, you're going to have the fibro home next door to the almost knocked down home, next to a brand new rebuilt home, next to a renovate. They're all different. And if 3 or 4 homes come up, you're going to be like, ooh, what do I want to do? Do I want a home that's already renovated? Do I want to renovate? You have more options. You have more appeal. You've got more demand. Otherwise, I'd be like, if there's not enough demand and there's 7 properties and they're all the same, I'm like, if you don't like my offer, I'll just go to the guy next door.
Yeah.
If you don't like my offer, I'll go to the chick across the road because I know she really wants to sell because she's got a hairdressing
There's no
salon.
uniqueness.
Thank you. Yeah. And if you're in a 2-bedroom, level 7 apartment looking straight into the building next door, what's the difference if you're on level 7, 27, 37,
It's the same.
17, looking into the same building? You might pay a small premium because you're a little bit higher. End of the day, your tenant's not. You're going to pay the same money for the same product. Tenant wants 2 bedrooms, balcony, bathroom. Whether you're on level 7 or 27, you might get $10 more if there's no view. So just keep that in mind and understand that it's a really limited market when it comes to resale if there's more than one of the same product
Yep.
at the same time.
So if you had to buy an investment property, it's house and land package, odds are to know from you.
I wouldn't think it is the smartest option unless it's a really intended strategy. But just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Or the tax strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
No.
Can I ask you before we go, what's the percentage out of in your career of the new properties that you valued that just don't really stack up?
I would say honestly about 95%.
So 95% don't stack up.
No. And
And the 5% are on the money?
To be fair, disclaimer, I haven't valued a lot of brand new and off the plan stuff probably in the last 5 years. If I did, I would say that it's a different story. But that would mean that I've been valuing for 20 years, haven't really done any in the last 5 years, for 15 years before that. So this isn't just like based off 2 years experience. This is 15 years prior to that. So I stopped kind of doing that before the pandemic.
Yep.
Since the pandemic, the market's gone crazy.
Yep.
So I'm valuing during normal parameters, okay? 95% of stuff I knock back. And to be specific, this is in Sydney. So I was valuing things in Mascot. We all know what happened there, especially with the defect. Homebush, we all know what happened there. Ryde, Parramatta, Granville, all these areas were just like apartments over apartments. East Gardens, just the same units were just everywhere. Central Park in Chippendale, I valued 1,200 and something units in there.
Wow. Hard work.
Hard work, mate.
Or was it copy-paste because they're all the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was easy. That's why I did so many. And I had a physical strata plan.
Yeah.
If anybody would know that work with me would remember this and be listening to this going, ha ha, I remember that. It got so manky and dirty towards the end. Imagine a strata plan and it had the lot number and I would write down what it sold for, when it sold for, and I'd highlight it if I supported it or not. And so then if I was valuing, I was like, oh, I'd put the contract price with the valuation price and I'd flick through and go, what did I value that for? And towards the end, that's how I kind of worked it out. Anyway, it was a lot in there. Yeah, so this isn't coming from someone that's like, I know a friend of a friend. I've lived it. I've done it. I've valued it. I've seen the good and the bad, and that's where I'm hoping to share. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying just don't do it for the sake of doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, fantastic. Really good. Really good chat. I appreciate you coming
Mic
up.
drop. No.
And don't drop the mic.
Sorry.
We just bought these.
Sorry. Very gentle.
But we appreciate you coming up. It's always good having you.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you so much, and we'll hopefully get to see you one more time before the end of the year. We appreciate everything, and if you've enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe. You can reach out to Belinda at any time at Belinda the Valuer on socials.
Yep. Or addvaluer.com because I help you add value.
There you go. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Property Banter. Until next time, take care.
Bye. Peace.